Another video I'd like to make while I'm still on a roll making videos, and I have to make them shorter because for some reason it just doesn't want to upload my videos. I get all these error messages. But the other video I'd like to make is, well, yet another cartoon video. And I want to talk about, why the Rugrats are so ugly, and something I didn't fully understand about them. All those years that I watched them and recorded them, I am of the mindset, now that I've become an adult, that pretty much every cartoon, every children's show, whether it's a Saturday morning cartoon or a movie, made with cartoons or CGI, no matter what it is, every children's cartoon, I believe, is an advertisement for children's toys. Okay, that is what I've come to believe and know, about our capitalistic society, is that they only make children's cartoons and children's cartoon movies or animated films to sell children's toys of the characters. And one of the reasons, they can lie about this all they want, but I don't believe them. One of the reasons that the Rugrats were made so ugly in comparison to something like Baby Alive, and here's the one I'm calling Angelica. And I wanted to show off this redhead that I got used, and she was naked, so she's in a yellow dress that doesn't fit very well because it's better than nothing. And I made a diaper cover to go over the diaper, and I'm calling it Chucky or Chuckina because he's basically a girl instead, or she's a girl. But they just didn't have any red-haired, green-eyed boys. And that's okay. I like having another girl. She's cute. But the reason why the Rugrats are so ugly in comparison to something like a Baby Alive or a regular baby doll is because in order to market the show to little boys, okay, and that's why I believe most cartoons are primarily aimed at boys. Not only are they immature and more into animation than girls their age, it's a lot harder to market toys to little boys than it is to market them to girls, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, all children love toys, okay? And, up to a certain age, well, they probably wouldn't care that much to an extent. I mean, what you would buy them, they would play with pretty much anything. But for little boys, they pretty much want to make everything into a weapon. Anything can become a weapon. But as they get older, or old enough to understand gender, it is very hard to sell toys to boys because anything that they associate with girls or femininity is devalued. And so in order to sell something to boys, you have to market it in such a way that it is either seen as masculine or is not associated with girls. And of course, well, that makes it masculine, or masculine enough. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why there are so many male cartoon characters and so few females, and that's a good thing. Because while girls will want pretty much anything, until they get older and they don't want to be seen as immature or babyfied, when they're little, they'll pretty much play with anything. You can convince little girls to want almost anything that's out there, and especially if it's pretty or glittery. So you don't have to try hard to market dolls to little girls. Well, actually, this is the one boy version. You don't have to try very hard to market things to girls in that age group. Any baby doll is beautiful in the eyes of a little girl. Okay? But with little boys, as I've stated, they have to see something as not pertaining to little girls in order to want it. And so, in addition to wanting to draw the characters very quickly in the days of 2D animation, because the easier something is to draw, the more you can draw of it in the same amount of time. But not only is it easier to draw characters that are ugly and simplistic with no eye color, Chucky never had pretty green eyes like this. But if you make them ugly or too ugly to be like a baby doll for girls, then they have more hope of appealing to little boys. So, if Tommy would have looked like this, for instance, he wouldn't be so appealing to little boys because he'd be too cute or too sweet. So they had to make them more like alien babies. And of course, with the girls, or Angelica has hair to hide that fact, but she doesn't have pretty blue eyes. So in order to appeal to boys, they made them ugly. So it was an underhanded way to get little boys into baby dolls, or, things that would be traditionally feminine, were they not so ugly and more cute. And when I look at it through that lens, I cannot possibly like or enjoy the show. It's painful to watch. I think another episode played last Friday, but I didn't even remember to watch it. I couldn't have cared less, because I've just lost interest in it for so many reasons. And when I think of it in that way, that it was an underhanded way to get boys interested in the world of babies, by presenting them as miniature adults, making them more like them, it just makes me not care about the show. I don't enjoy it like I used to. And of course, these diehard fans of the show, I love these dolls, and if I had a little black girl, I'd call it Susie. But just these adamant defenders trying to say that Angelica did not poop in her pants. It was Tommy. Well, the fact that they're so vehemently trying to dissuade me from believing that, no, please don't believe Angelica pooped her pants. Please believe it was Tommy. Well, if you really wanted me to stop believing that, you could try something more believable, like, no, she didn't poop in her pants. She just peed in her pants. I see the puddle on the floor, which of course you don't. Okay? But I mean, why is there any more reason to believe it was Tommy than to believe that it was Chucky? Who's to say Chucky necessarily didn't poop in his pants? Did you check his pants? You know what I'm saying? They could have all pooped in their pants. Susie could have. And of course, I don't have a black doll, and I don't intend to get one. But anyway, I hope this video is not too long. But I just wanted to say that Rugrats are ugly. I don't intend to watch them. And I lose respect for anyone who is a fan of the show, whether it's the classic version or the stupid reboot. And they just don't seem human to me. It's like they made them so far from human that they don't look like babies to me. And this is my fantasy world, the doll world. I don't need the stupid Rugrats to convince me to want baby dolls, or you know what I'm saying? Girls don't need Rugrats to get them interested in babies and baby dolls. Okay? So, and like I've stated before, even if you could erase that third movie, okay, or even if you could convince me that the third movie just isn't canon, so to speak, you'll have a better time, or you'll find it a lot easier to convince me that the third movie simply didn't happen or isn't canon than to convince me that she didn't poop in her pants, okay? Because there's no proof one way or another, and I believe that she did. That is the only reason I need to believe it, is just, the fact that she did. She got so scared she literally pooped her pants. So anyway, I just don't respect anyone who likes the show or defends the show. And like I've said, even if you could erase that whole third movie from existence, let's just pretend that the all grown up special in 2001 was the very last episode. Let's say that would have been the last thing they would have ever made dealing with that show. No more movies, no more anything. Okay? That still would not convince me to wear that on my clothing, to wear the characters on my clothing, or to support the show in any way. You know, because I just don't respect it. I don't respect the people who like it. I don't respect the people behind it who have never made any video response to counter what I've said about her pooping in her pants. They've never made any counter argument that was coherent. So I just don't like the show. And I'm not a little boy who needs to be convinced to play with baby dolls using ugly alien characters.